All right. Welcome. This is part 2 of the Mommy Me Time series, Unlocking Self-Care Secrets for Moms. For all moms, you're all welcome here, right? Well, you're always all welcome. But I'm so excited for this series and really to, again, help you unlock what does self-care mean to you in the multiple areas of your life by helping you think differently through these 4-part series and also take action. And then if you're a toddler mom, I have something exciting coming up on November 11th. I'll tell you guys in about a week and a half, you're going to be able to sign up for that, a free virtual retreat, basically, to just help you unlock self-care as a toddler mom. I know you're like, Brie, I want to do a retreat. I'm not a toddler mom. That's okay. I actually am planning to do multiple ones like this for moms in different areas of life, one for all moms, one for, moms with newborns, one from retired moms, because guess what? Your girl wants to learn about all of that. But also just, I think it is a very special thing when you can be brought together with moms who are in similar areas and stages of life of you, but as well as when you can have someone directly speak to the direct things that you're facing in that stage of motherhood, if that makes sense, right? And so the retreat is going to be November 11th. It's going to be live. I'm so excited. But then even on the podcast, there's going to be a lot of great content coming up that will be great for all women, but especially moms, because I'm focusing on moms right now, Mommy Me Time, right? And I wanted to talk about, so last week we talked about self-care rituals, like defining what those are and how to go about creating those self-care rituals, the difference between a ritual and a habit. I wanted to, before getting into some of the nitty-gritty around some of those areas, your physical health, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, vocational, relational, like those are kind of the 7 areas of self-care I think is very important, or life that we need to take care of ourselves in. We can't just expect things to happen to us. I think personal development is an overarching thing, or mindset work, personal development work is an overarching thing that if you try to, grow in one area, you're going to be doing personal development, right? You're going to have to develop as a person. And I think when we're born on this earth, we from the moment we take our first breath, we are on a I can't speak today. We're on a personal development journey. I have a 3 and 1-year-old, and they're developing personally and socially and motor, all these sort of things in such amazing ways. It's like crazy to go from what is going on back there? My kids are still up. Quiet over there, please. My daughter's probably like putting something against the door. Anyways, learning how to do things, right? They're growing personally, and I think it comes to a point where we go to school, which by the way is personal development, not just professional. We go to college, we're involved in our career. It's almost like we think our whole life is preparing for us for our career, right? Our whole life is preparing for us to be a contributing person in society. One part of our life, but our life is not just our career. Our life is not just our grades. Our life is not just, we are so much more. And we were all made to be different and also to be a certain way because we're all unique. And I will keep talking about this quote forever, but there's an amazing book called Maximizing Your Potential, older book. And Dr. Miles Monroe, he's passed away, but he talks about, he said so many great things, but this quote, I will always remember. It says, "You were created with a purpose that demanded your existence on this planet." You were, right? And I don't think it's one, I think it's multiple purposes, right? But all this to say, it's like we need to grow to fulfill that purpose. We need to grow to be the people we were called to be. We need to prioritize that development, right? So what is personal development? One second, I think someone, we're in a different location. So I think we're, okay, I think Mary Lou's, okay, great. Let's just make sure, actually, I want to make sure I'm in the places. Okay, so what is personal development? So personal development, we can define it in so many different ways. BetterUp defines it as looking inward and focusing on ways to better yourself. Well, it helps increase self-awareness, your self-esteem, your skills and aspirations. So basically, it is doing this inner work. Doing the inner work, looking at your thoughts, looking at your beliefs, looking at your actions, your emotions, and seeing how that's all has created your reality. This is the kind of the 6 pillars of mindset. And I think mindset and personal development go so hand in hand because our mindset drives our actions and our reality, right? So why is it important to grow as a mom? Because I think you have people who specialize in personal development. They're coaches, there are self-help books. All of this is like about growing personally. Why is it so important? One, I said overarching, but why is it important as a mom? Listen, you are going to have humans, tiny humans, big humans, medium humans, whatever size they are, whatever stage of life or motherhood you're in, who are going to make you have to grow, right? They're going to make you have to learn patience. They're going to make you have to learn, all right, okay, they're not quite understanding what I'm telling them this, or how do I like communicate this better so my child kind of like will respond well or understand, which by the way, our children are not just made to listen to us. They are made because we know most of the time what's best, but they are their own human beings. So as they're growing, we need to grow too. It's not like my kids aren't this being like this. It's like, well, are they made to do that? I don't know. Like, I just mean like we want our kids to do certain things, be a part of certain things, and maybe they're not meant to. That's a whole other conversation. But I just think as parents, we are and we're going to be forced to grow. And we're either going to go with that, choose to grow in a situation, or we're going to stay stuck where we are and exert our current mindset, current beliefs, current thoughts, current actions on our kids, on a situation. And it's just not going to be as good as it could be than if we took a personal development journey in that area. All right. And I think this personal development and mindset work is very important as a mom because you're going to be faced with so many thoughts, or you probably are faced with so many thoughts of, am I doing enough? Oh, if I did this, or if I was around here, or this, and this, maybe my child wouldn't be like this. That first of all, cut that out. Mom guilt, we don't need to do that. Like, I think it's good to always want to improve, but it's not good when it comes from a place of like, basically shame. Like, I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? I'm not worthy to be a mom, or all this stuff. Which, by the way, if you have not listened to Tea Time with Bree podcast, tomorrow's episode is on shame resilience, and it's powerful. I was like, my goodness, I want to like have Kira on over and over and over again. So definitely listen to tomorrow's episode, 281, Tea Time with Bree. So personal development is important because we're, as moms, we need to look inward, and if you want to be which by the way, you're not just meant to be a mom. Like, that's a part of your role and your identity. But if you do want to be a better parent, a better mom, you need to grow. It's just plain thing. But also now, if we start to look at, that's kind of the relationship area, but if we look at these other areas of our life, it's not like we grow. So some of us, like we grow, we do all these new things, we take these courses, we challenge ourselves, and we become parents, and we stop. Like, no, you keep growing. It's just going to look different. So for me, I became very interested in personal development before I had kids. Actually, business entrepreneurship will force you to grow. It just will. And I think I'm so grateful for it. It's one of the most beautiful things. And I almost want to call myself a personal development coach, because that's what I do. I just help women grow in multiple areas, right? I would call myself a growth strategist. But for me as a mom, I realized like it's very easy to just do the things I have to do, particularly in this stage of life with toddler kids, and not make time to do the things that help me be my best, but also help me grow. It's not like my life stops. It's a part of my life. Kids are a part of my life, but it's not like my life stops and I have to put everything on hold. There might be some things that I might not be able to go as quickly at, or might just have to put on for another time, but I still need to prioritize my self-care. I still need to prioritize my personal development, because I don't want to wait 20 years of my life, 18 years of my life, and then say, okay, now it's time. No, you need to grow now. You want to become all that. And I think motherhood helps us become more of the person we're meant to be if we allow it, and if we use the tools that we need to grow. All right. And so personal development, again, is just looking inward and focusing on ways to better yourself. And again, I think it connects back to what we talked about last week, ways to better yourself in the ways you take care of your body, your emotions, your mind, your spirit, your finances, your relationships, and your passions, your calling, your work, all that sort of stuff. We need to look inward and focus on ways to better ourselves in all those areas. Now, you don't need to choose all those areas at one time. It might be overwhelming, and you don't need to do a huge project in all those areas at one time. But it goes back to what I was talking about. I think it was either last week or sometime, and since we've been talking a lot about self-care, these non-negotiables, like the non-negotiables I have center around a lot of these areas. And I'll center around my personal development, my personal like well-being mentally, actually, so that when I show up as a mom, show up as a wife, show up as a business owner, a coach, a team member, a leader, I am becoming the best version of myself. If that makes sense. You know this, and I'm so excited for some of the speakers who are going to come on the Mommy Me Time retreat, because they're going to talk about this. They're going to talk about mindset and personal development, and all of it is personal development. Again, anytime you are trying to be intentional in shifting yourself from one place to another, you're trying to grow personally. That's just what it is, right? And there's so many great tools, great things like my retreat, great things like podcasts, great things like these series, but it takes you really taking those things you learn and applying it. So even a part of the retreat that I'm going to be doing is, even while you're on live, we're going to be like, okay, what's one thing you can do now? Or like take away and one action step for this upcoming week. And then for those who choose to get the VIP access, not only will you have access to the recordings, but we're going to like actually have a session where we're going to like do some coaching around like, you learned all of this, now what? Like now, like what are the things that you can do, and kind of go back and forth around that. And of course, there's going to be a mix and mingle, get to meet other moms. So I'm so excited about this retreat. So excited. So even if you're not a toddler mom, it is but you've been a toddler mom, you need to like send this to another mom in your life. Like that's what we need to do when we find resources that we like have blessed us or could bless us or other people. We need to share it. We share all kind of things, guys. And sometimes the things we share aren't as helpful as we think they are, or what should be. Like, let's build each other up, right? And so that's part of even like social development there. So I would love to hear from you though. Like if you're listening to this, like what does personal development mean to you? And what does it look like to consciously and intentionally choose to grow in one area? So a lot of the women who work with me from a health coaching capacity are choosing to grow in their mindset, because I bring it into everything. They're also choosing to grow in their health and how they take care of their body and their emotions, right? Our relationship with food, our body, and ourselves. The women that I work with from a business coaching point of view who want to create income to fuel dreams, like we're looking at personal development a lot of different areas, but they're choosing to grow in the way that they think about money, in the way that they build relationships. They're choosing to go the way that they define their dreams and define their goals and possibilities. Like anytime you are saying, I'm stepping into something new, you need to know you will grow. And it's not going to be easy, but you can get through it. And that's what we need to put on a growth mindset. Carol Dweck, who wrote the book Mindset, talked about this. She was the first one to kind of focus on this, and so many people have taken kind of like gone with it since. But we either have a fixed mindset in our life or a growth. Fixed mindset says things cannot change. This is just the way it is. Things aren't malleable. We need to just kind of stick to it as it is. Like, this is who I am. I'm never going to be able to do this. Like, that doesn't feel good. Versus like, you know what? Things can change, and things are changing for me right now. I may not know how to do this, but I'm choosing to grow. And I know growth will get me. There's abundance of time and money. Like, that feels very different. And that opens up possibilities, opens up more joy, opens up more things, versus the other one constricts. We have enough constriction in our lives, especially if you're a mom, especially young kids or even older kids, right? There's just things that get to you that my daughter is, can you hear? She is talking. Like, what are you talking about there? That just, can be stressful, and that's kind of constriction. So we want to open up. And that is what personal development is. Open up, having a bigger view of things, a growth mindset, and really allowing yourself to look inward and act outwards to become a better version of yourself. And so if you want to show up well for yourself, for your kids, for the people in your life, for what you're called to in all these areas, you need to choose to grow. And again, that can look multiple ways. It can look like listening to podcasts and applying what you've learned. It could look like attending retreats. It could look like coaching. It could look like starting a business. It could look like budgeting. It could look like so many different things. There's not one way. And that's why I'm so excited for like the work on them and coming up on the podcast, but specifically this retreat. It's just gonna be so amazing. I'm so excited for it. Basically, this is like an online summit, but I've set it up differently than I ever have before, where it's live, and I'm going to be structuring it in such a way where people are going to come and share, but it is going to be very retreat-like. And so super excited about it. So all this to say, you need it. If you want to be the best version of yourself as a mom, as a woman, as a wife, as a just whatever, you need to prioritize personal development. So I'm going to ask you, like, what does that mean to you? Right? Like, what does personal development in what area of your life? So if you're like, okay, Brand, I really need to focus on my health. Like, what does it mean to grow there? What does it mean to grow? I'm not going to define it to you, right? And growth mindset is also like abundance, right? We think anything's possible, right? What is it? Is it like, you know what? I have constantly told myself there's not enough time to make or buy a healthy meal, that vegetables don't taste great, but you want to know what? I'm gonna shift that. I'm gonna find ways to eat healthy meals each day. I'm gonna find ways to prioritize my vegetables. And it's going to become so much so that it's no longer something I just do. It's who I am. I'm just someone who eats well for my body. You see what I mean? Like, that is choosing to grow. That is choosing to look inward and saying, like, where am I not serving myself in this area, and how can I shift it? And then you choose to get resources, right? Then you choose to like get a coach, you choose to get a meal plan, whatever it is to help you. But it's first making the decision that I want to grow and I want to develop myself in this area. Doesn't mean you have to do it by yourself, but you have to want it for yourself. Just as much as you want your kids to grow and become the best version of themselves, you had a long life to live, mama. So don't stop growing. Don't stop pursuing abundance and becoming more of who you're meant to be. Okay. And so I want to hear from you, like, yeah, like, what's one area, whether you're watching live or the replay, what's one area of your life you're like, I need to grow here. I need to. It's not a question. Like, I need to, and I want to. It could be finances. Maybe you're like, I really want to start saving for something. I really want to pay off debt. And I've been saying, but now I got to get serious about it. It could be like, you know what? I really wanted to start a side hustle and make extra income. That I mean, I'm going to do another live about this. That's coming up. But I truly, like, it's so funny because I never saw myself ever starting my own business, like being that risky or whatever. And I'm nearly 8 years in, multiple businesses. And I'm just like, I am so glad, because it's the ultimate, to me, it's like one of the ultimate, well, following Jesus is an ultimate personal development journey. But like, this has been a really big personal development journey for me. All right. And so, hey, so if you want to transform the way that you see your life, experience your life, the way you mother, and obviously so many other things, you need to grow personally. And our girl Elaine is going to talk about that on the retreat. Ilana, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Okay, so that's it for me. And I just wanted to talk about that today, just the role of personal development. It's not something to be scared of. It's something to embrace, because that means you're becoming the best version of yourself as you choose to look inward and choose to grow in those different areas of your life. So again, let me know in the comments, what's one area of your life you want to grow in. All right. And then we can talk about like how that happens, because often we just like, we go to the how-tos, but I think first we need to get like a very strong decision. If you're like, I want to write a book, you need to get to the point where you decide that no matter what, no matter how long it takes, you're going to write and publish a book, not just write it, publish a book. Right? If you're like, I want to run a 10K, I told myself I never could, but I just want to decide. Because when you make a decision, it's interesting. You start to see ways that decision can happen, right? You start to see like, oh, wow, this opportunity, maybe you're like, I've been wanting to practice self-care, and you're like, oh, suddenly Brianna is going live talking about self-care. It's like, no, that didn't just like happen. You decided and you were open and looking for it. Because when we make a decision, of ways we want to grow, goals we want to pursue, I'm telling you, possibilities are open. Okay. And Alana's going to talk all about mindset. I mean, the mindset, personal development, I think they go hand in hand, but just the ways that we can kind of even trick ourselves into like these loops around telling ourselves we don't want something when in reality we do. Because that's another thing. This is my last tangent here, and then I'm going to wrap us up. That's another thing, is often we want something, we want to grow personally, but we like talk ourselves out of it because we feel bad about it. That mom guilt pops up. It's like, who am I to like take this, spend money on knitting when my kids want this or need this? It's like, if you made it work to get them that, you can make it work to do this too. Yeah, it might be later, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we're constantly like, it comes to the point where my heart with this Mommy Me Time project, let me tell you what it is. It's not, so it's like, it's where Mommy Me Time is like a priority and a necessity in your life, whatever that means. It's not a treat. I think, yes, there are certain parts of like spending time, like maybe going away on a trip feels like it's a treat. But what if that's something you want to do all the time? What if you want to go once a quarter on your own? Let's make it a priority. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the mindset shift. My hope is through this series, through the podcast episodes, through these series of retreats I'm going to do, is how does Mommy Me Time, how does self-care, growing personally, all of that become something that's just a priority for you versus a treat or like a special thing or something that someone has to give you. You guys ever like want something and you just put it on like a birthday or Christmas or Mother's Day list and somehow justify that that's okay because someone else got it for you and someone else validated that was an okay gift? That's enough. It's like, that's okay. I do that all the time, but it's like, if you want it, get it. And what I mean by that, it's like, it's so interesting. My mom's at the season of her life where we'll be like, Mom, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? She's like, I don't want anything. I'm like, what do you need? She's like, if I have anything I need, I go buy it. And that's not to say like anything's wrong with putting something you want or need on a gift, on a list for people to buy. But I just think sometimes we wait for people to say that that's a valid thing. That's a valid dream to pursue. That's a valid gift to get, where it's like, you just need to start saying it's valid yourself because you want it. Right? Okay, so that's a tangent, but I am very much about women and moms really empowering themselves to go after the things they want in life and go after the ways they want to grow. Okay, and so we're going to continue to unpack that on this series. We're going to continue to unpack that with the stuff to come. And again, if you're like me and a lot of the moms I've worked with, this stuff is great. Lives are great. Retreats are great. They're all in a group setting. If you're like, I need to just talk with someone one-on-one, because there are so many different ways and things you can do things. It can be confusing as to like, what is your journey? That's what I love doing as a coach, right? So let me know below, but I have space in the first couple of weeks of November for complimentary clarity calls. This is where you hop on the phone and we're just going to help you get very clear, or Zoom, like, what do you want in your health and in your life? And what's the best way for you to get there? Right? And it may be coaching, it may be something else, but you don't know until you're clear. Because so many of us, when you decide what you want, then it's like, okay, how do I get there? Maybe you're not clear on either of those. Let's hop on a clarity call. If you've never had a clarity call with me, it's going to be amazing. And it's complimentary. It's just to help you get clear. And if there is a way that I can support you as a coach, or whether it's in your health and life capacity, or even in the business, you kind of joining my team, if that's something that's a fit for you, then we'll talk about that and I'll share that. And if it's not a fit, no biggie, right? But you don't know unless you get clear. Okay. So drop clarity below in the comments, and I would love to send you the link to book a clarity call. Okay. So that's it from me. I hope you guys have had a great time. This is part 2. We're doing part 3 next Tuesday. And then part 4, I think, is going to actually be in 2 weeks. So part 3 will be on the 24th. Part 4 will be on the 7th, because the 31st is Halloween and my husband's birthday. So we're going to just do stuff with him. And then the 7th is the last one. But then on the 11th is the retreat. So you got to stay tuned for that. And if you know that you want to take part in the Mommy Me Time retreat for toddler moms and self-care, you can say waitlist below, and I will send you the sign up page when it's nearly ready. Okay. So all this to say, your homework, I would love to hear from you. What is one area of your life you want to grow in? Okay. What's one area? just drop it and then we can talk about how, right? And if you want to talk one-on-one about that, you've never had a clarity call with me before, drop clarity below and I will send you the link to hop on a call with me. I'm beginning of November. And then if you are a toddler mom or know a toddler mom and you would love to be a part of the Mommy Me Time retreat coming up on November 11th, drop waitlist below or retreat, whichever word feels better. Yeah, let's do that. Let me know what area you want to grow in. Clarity call if you want to drop on a one-on-one clarity call, and then 3, drop retreat if you want to be added to the waitlist. All right. Okay, Kate. Okay, I will send you the link. All right, and any questions? I'm gonna stay on for 1 more minute. I'm just gonna make sure I went live on my actual page, so let me just make sure that everything was okay there. Any questions from anybody? And then, yeah, please let me know your answers to all of this below too. Okay, I don't see any questions right now, but if you are watching the replay or live later, just drop your takeaways, drop your questions, and I will hop in the comments and answer them. Okay, have a good one, guys. See you next Tuesday for part 3. But if you let me know that you want to hop on a clarity call, drop clarity. And then if you want to be added to the retreat, drop retreat. Okay, bye.